Town, Petco Park, a new beginning, let's go. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padre gang. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Mitchell and Ness with the old school name. All of the homies holler Padre gang. Yeah, they.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Talking Friars pregame show for September 10th, 2022. I'm your host, Ben Fadden. The Padres and the Dodgers tonight at 5:40, an hour before the scheduled first pitch from last night. Obviously, last night was delayed. Tonight, hopefully it doesn't get delayed. But what a tremendous game from the Padres last night. What a win. That was the best game I've been to all year from the Padres. I've probably been to, like, a better game, like a cleaner game where, like, they shut out in fact, I have, where, like, they shut out the Rockies and Musgrove pitched great, games like that. But talking about games where y in terms of, like, a competitive game, that's the best game I've been to all year. With the walk-off, back and forth, Dodgers having the lead early, Padres taking it back, Grisham home run, Dodgers tying it up, Trace Thompson going deep to give the Dodgers the lead, then the Padres coming back, Manny tying it, and then obviously the bullpen stepping up, both bullpens, if we're being honest, and then obviously they walk Manny, and then that sets up Crony um, to get the walk-off. What a game. What an atmosphere. I thought that maybe some fans wouldn't show up because of the rain, but it looked pretty jam-packed last night when I was there. I was down on field level. Obviously, there was a bunch of Dodger fans like usual, but there was a lot of Padre fans. There was a lot of "Beat LA" chants, especially after Crony walked it off. So hopefully that's that atmosphere that we see on TV tonight. I'm not going to the game. I went to every game this week. During the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. They didn't play Thursday, excuse me. I'm not going today, not going to tomorrow's games, but I'll have the highlights, I'll have the clips at Talking Friars on Twitter, like I always do when the Padres, or excuse me, when I'm not at Padres games. I see Winning Tennis already in here. Says we got to hit Urias tonight. This guy has owned us. Yeah, that's the pitching matchup. Urias on the mound for the Dodgers, Blake Snell on the mound for the Padres. Urias has a 2.29 ERA so far this year, and his last start came against the Padres last weekend, September 3rd. Dodgers won that game 12-1, and he went 6 innings and he only gave up 2 hits. He walked 3, didn't strike out a lot of guys, but he went 6 innings and he didn't even get to 80 pitches. That's how efficient he was. So the Padres tried to attack that game. Maybe they go with a different approach tonight and they try to be a little more patient and, say, hey, if Urias is going to go 6 innings, well, then his pitch count's not going to be 80. We got to get that pitch count higher than that. I would think that's what their approach would be tonight. All Day Go in the chat says, did you see Manny call Roberts a B after they walked him in extras? Yeah. I don't know if he called him that. He might have. But yeah, he was just saying, yeah, pitch to me. Because they didn't pitch to him. They intentionally walked him. I don't know if that was the smart move. I mean, when you look at the Padres side of things, the bullpen pitching to the Dodgers, Morahone, right? What was it? It was the 10th inning, right? And he pitched. He went and pitched to Betts and Freeman and Turner, all of them with the runner on second base. He wasn't afraid. Dodgers were afraid to pitch to Manny. I can't blame the Dodgers, I guess, for walking Manny intentionally. Don't want to pitch to him. But it shows that this lineup is still talented behind him. It's not just a two-man show. Well, Soto, there's some fans that would say it's a one-man show with just Manny right now because Soto, I think I saw in Kevin Acey's newsletter this morning something about Soto being in his worst 10-game stretch in his career right now. So you could say it's a one-man show, but it's not just a one-man show. Josh Bell, I'm seeing better at-bats from him. Then obviously when he first started with the Padres, right after the trade deadline, they're going to get Drury back in the Seattle series. Obviously, Cronenworth, I don't get the fans personally. I don't get fans that, wanted to trade him in the Juan Soto deal. I don't get the fans that try to like discredit him, and um, some fans that have said Cronin worthless. Like, that's the exact opposite of what Jake is. He is very worthy. He's worth a lot. He has a lot of value to this team. Defensively, he can play multiple positions. He can play short. He can play second. He can play first. All of them very well, by the way. He's hit 8th in the lineup this year. He's hit 3rd, I believe. He's hit probably almost everywhere in the lineup. Without saying anything, fine. I'll go do it to help the team. Like, this guy is super, super valuable. And yeah, I've seen some in his swing, some things that I don't really like in his swing at points this year where it feels like he's just trying to launch the ball too much. But I mean, when he has that line drive swing like he had last night, he is very, very valuable on offense. So I don't understand those people that say he's worthless or that don't like Cronenworth. Sorry. I know I'm biased because he's my favorite player. I just don't understand that argument, to be honest. Aldago says, are they going to give Rosario some at-bats? I would think not. Rosario played when it was a blowout last weekend, and he was facing, I think a couple of his at-bats were against Hanser Alberto. So I don't think so. You look at first base, Myers is going to play first till Drury comes back, at least. Bell's DHing. Cronenworth's at second. Kim's obviously playing short. Manny is obviously going to play third. Where are you going to put him? Are you going to have him go pinch hit? Where would they pinch hit? Unless maybe it's for like a catcher position for Nola, who's starting tonight. Quick, very, very quick paternity leave, by the way. Nola was like, all right. I don't know if it was the birth of his kid. And he's like, all right, I'm good. I'm going back to the field. He was tired of that already. I saw some people on Twitter, they were like, oh, the Padres only gave Nola 1 day of paternity leave or whatever. No, the player, I'm pretty sure, gets to decide when he comes back. Like, reasonably gets to decide. If he misses a few days, I think the team's okay with that. So, no, I'm pretty sure that was Nola's decision to come back. And some are like, well, they don't want to start Camposano, so they bring Nola back. They've started Camposano a couple times already, and I think they like what they've seen out of Camposano. I don't think he's going to get many starts anymore if Alfaro and Nola are healthy, but he looked good with Musgrove, that Giant series, that Wednesday game. He's looked better since the Kansas City game where Manaea pitched and was throwing meatballs down the plate first inning, and the game was over after that. That same game where Hader sucked. Man, by the way, Hader looked really, really good last night. And I guess that could lead us to the bullpen situation for tonight. I don't know if Pierce Johnson's going to get activated. He was expected to be activated today, according to Kevin Acee. Kevin Acee just tweeted, by the way, Pierce Johnson, who is expected to be activated off the 60-day IL today after rehabbing elbow tendonitis, says, quote, I haven't given up a run in a couple months. He's right. Austin Nola is back off the paternity list. Baby girl was born yesterday morning. Okay, that's good. Matt Beatty, DFA. There we go. Nothing personal against him, but he has sucked for the Padres. So, DFA'd. Bye-bye. Bob Melvin says reliever Drew Pomerantz is probably not going to pitch this season. Not a surprise. Can't rely on him. Reese Kinnear option to AAA to make room for Pierce Johnson. Okay, so Pierce Johnson up, activated. Reese Kinnear down. Matt Beatty DFA'd. So Luis Liberato, he is still on the team. He was brought up yesterday. He is still on the roster as an outfielder. He's listed as a center fielder on MILB.com. So good news. Beatty's gone. That's good. I Again, it's nothing against him personally, but the guy going into what Sunday night's game had a 4 OPS plus. League average OPS plus is 100. He was DHing on Monday. There was no I didn't understand why he was DHing. I didn't understand why Bob Melvin kept Matt Beatty in the game in that 7th inning. Like he didn't help the team with this year. He just didn't really help the team. I could look up his numbers. Let me see here. Matt Beatty, he was out a couple months and then played for El Paso for a while, and then he got brought up. He has a negative 0.7 WAR for the Padres this year. No home runs, a .093 batting average, 170 on base percentage. His OPS plus was -2 when 100 is league average. You know how terrible that is? So he's gone, thank goodness. And Pierce Johnson's back. I think that's huge for the bullpen the rest of the year, to be honest. You know, you have Morahone, you have Martinez, Hader, Garcia, Suarez. Give him another one. That's big. You knew Kinnear was going to be sent down. You have Hill as a lefty, and Pierce Johnson, when he was healthy, right, or at least when he hasn't been healthy, when we thought he was going to be healthy, uh, we imagined that he was going to be what 7th inning, 8th inning guy, maybe. I don't know what role they have for him. Maybe they'll pitch him in like the 6th or the 7th just to start out. Um, but if they're activating today, I would expect him to definitely be available to pitch today and definitely tomorrow. I could see them just throwing him right in there in the 7th or the 8th inning. It takes pressure off of Nick Martinez to have to go 3 straight days, right? You could have Pierce Johnson pitch an 8th inning, or Garcia pitch the 8th, or Morahone have Pierce Johnson pitch the 7th and just give Martinez a day off. I think Martinez is going to be available today. I'm not saying he's not going to be available today. He did just have 2 days off after going 3 straight days. Bob Melvin said yesterday that Martinez was not going to be available anyway going into yesterday's game because of the 3 straight days. They wanted to give him a couple days, but I'd expect him to be available today, so that's good. And maybe they don't have to pitch Hader back-to-back days today. They're probably comfortable in doing it because I think he's looked better. But last 3 appearances, he's had a day off in between each, at least pitching in a game. So maybe you go Martinez as the closer tonight, and you have Johnson, Garcia, Morahone. Those guys can come in before. So Reese Kinnear sent down, not a surprise. They have multiple guys that can pitch multiple innings, fill that role, so that's not a big deal. And getting back to the starting pitching matchup, so Snell, his last time out was against the Diamondbacks. 6 innings, gave up only 1 run, 4 hits, walked 1, struck out 10 guys. He struck out 5 guys in a row, I believe, at one point in that start. He looked tremendous. Remember, that was on Monday. Offense just couldn't score any runs. Soto popped out. Manny grounded out. Josh Bell grounded, or I think struck out looking. I think that was in the 1st inning in that game. And then Soto flew out again later with the runner in scoring position. That was the game Matt Beatty DH'd. If you're just tuning in, he's been DFA'd. So, yay, that's good news. Shouldn't have even been in that situation in the 7th inning in that game. But Snell, very, very encouraging what I saw last time out. The start before that, 6 shutout innings against the Giants. So last 2 starts, 12 innings, 1 run, 18 strikeouts, no home runs. Sign me up for that. The start before that, or excuse me, the start before his last start, August 30th, he walked 3. You don't want to walk 3 guys, but if you're not going to give up any runs, I'm fine with walking 3 guys, right? So this should be a good pitching matchup. Urias and Snell tonight. And the Padres lineup is already out. Dodgers lineup is already out. A very short paternity leave for Austin Nola. Grand total of 1 day. He's batting 8 tonight, catching for Snell. Kim's leading off at short. lefties on the mound, so that's not a surprise. So Profar's bumped down in the order. Soto's in right, Manny's at third, Bell's DHing, Myers is at first. That I assume that's what it's going to be until Drury comes back, at least. Crony's at second base. He's batting sixth after the walk-off last night. Profar in left batting seventh. Nola. And then Jose Azocar. Not a surprise either. With the lefty on the mound, Grisham is not in the lineup. He'll probably come in later in the game. He usually does. But Azocar is batting ninth in center field as the right-handed batter. So matchup-wise, lineup makes sense. For the Dodgers, Betts leading off. Trey Turner's at short. Freddie Freeman hit an absolute tank last night. That was a bomb. He's at first base batting third. Will Smith is DHing. Justin Turner's at third. Chris Taylor's in left. Hanser Alberto is at second base. Trace Thompson, the Padre killer, homered last night. He's in center field, so no Bellinger tonight for the Dodgers. Austin Barnes is going to be catching. He is batting ninth. No Muncy, and no Bellinger. So that's what the Dodgers got rolling tonight. Padres lineup, already talked about that. Matchup-wise, there's no one really hitting great off of Julio Urias with any sample size of note. Manny, that's pretty good. 250. He's had 2 home runs off of him. But like a Zokar has a 500 average, but it's only 2 at-bats. So really small sample sizes. On the other side of things, Mookie has 32 at-bats off of Snell. Large sample size because they faced each other bets with the Red Sox. Snell in the same division when he was with the Rays. Mookie, 32 at-bats, a home run, 6 RBIs off him, 250 average. Joey Gallo, 5 at-bats, hitting 600 off him. Will Smith, 12 at-bats, hitting 417 off him. So that's a pretty good sample size and obviously a very good average. Let me check, by the way, what Snell has done against the Dodgers this year. So July 1st at Dodger Stadium, 5 innings, 1 run. And that's the only start that he's had against the Dodgers this year. So it's been a while. It's been more than 2 months since we last saw Blake Snell take the mound against the Dodgers. First time, obviously, at home, because the last time was at Dodger Stadium. My Padre pick, by the way, today is Will Myers. I didn't really know who I wanted to go with today. Again, small sample sizes mostly across the board for the Padres. I went with Manny yesterday. He came up huge with that game-tying hit. 87-47 now is my record for my Padre pick here on the pregame show. So hopefully Will can get a knock tonight, get that up to 88. I don't have money on it, obviously. Anyone new, it's just a fun thing I do. Who do I think is going to get a hit for the Padres if I could only pick one guy? So I'm going to go with Will tonight. Right versus left matchup. 540 again is the first pitch, not 640, 540. Valley Sports San Diego. 97.3 The Fan. Padres looking for their 78th win on the year. Dodgers looking for their 95th win. If they swept the Padres this weekend, they would have clinched the division, but that's not going to happen, obviously, because the Padres won yesterday. So that's good, obviously. You never want to see anyone clinch something on your home field or in the visiting clubhouse in your stadium. But I'm so tired of Dodger fans, man, of their, the Padres were not allowed to celebrate a win, a walk-off win. Like, their comeback is 18 games back, 19 games back, or whatever it is. Like, do they not understand that the standings, we understand the standings don't matter in the NL West right now. Guess what? They're also not going to matter in October. Because guess what? Everyone is 0-0. That's the great thing about the postseason. It's about who is hot. It's not – the records go right out the window when the postseason comes. So I'm kind of treating it like that right now with the Dodgers. We know the division is over. So you saying 18 games up still, who cares that the Padres won last night? Obviously, you do care because you're responding. And 2, the division, we know you're going to win the division. It does not matter to us right now. We're trying to get into the postseason. And sorry, we're going to celebrate any win. I don't care if it's 2018. We're going to celebrate a win because it's fun to win games. Baseball's supposed to be fun. It's fun to win baseball games, especially against a fan base that mostly isn't that smart, and a fan base um, that likes to talk a lot. All right, let's get to some comments, some questions here. Again, Pierce Johnson has been activated. Kinnear sent down. Beatty DFA'd. And so Liberado's still on the roster. Nola is back from the paternity list. So good news for the Padres going into tonight's game. Johnny says, going to be tough trying to watch two screens, Padres, Aztecs, both on around at the same time. Yeah. Aztecs are on at 5, I believe. Padres 5:40. Padres, that is on Valley Sports San Diego, so you could probably have that on your TV. The Aztecs are on like Mountain West Network. I think you have to like stream that or something. Yeah, Aztecs, by the way, they're playing Idaho State. So yeah, if that game's close, that's probably going to be embarrassing. David asked, "Do you still like Joe Musgrove? Remember, pay the man." Of course, I like Joe Musgrove. What the heck? What kind of question is that? Sure, he hasn't been himself lately, um, but I still believe he can get back to that. Guy works his butt off. San Diego. I'm never going to stop liking Joe Musgrove unless like something absolutely terrible happens or something that he does. No, I love Joe. What the heck? Wolfpack thinks Juan Soto's going to hit a home run tonight. That would be big, huh? His 4th home run as a Padre. And he's scuffling at the plate in terms of like batting average and stuff. But he's still getting on base, right? He worked that walk before Manny drove him in to tie the game. I know Mookie had an error, but he got on base and scored there. He was on second base and scored, hustled home on the Crony walk-off. He's helping the team in other ways, even when he's not doing great at the plate. Yeah, David, I think this is the reaction of all Padres fans right now. Aldago says is he still your ace? I think you're talking about Musgrove. Darvish, I would say, is the ace right now. If we're talking about a game 1 of a playoff series, I'd go Darvish 1, Musgrove 2, and then Snell game 3. Um, maybe I'd go Snell game 2. I'd still be confident in Musgrove game 2 though. So I'll just go with my gut reaction: Darvish, Musgrove, and then Snell. That's what I would do. First 3 games, wild card series. Let's say Padres play the Mets or something. If they're the 6th seed, they would play um, the Cardinals. If they're the 5 seed, which is I believe what they are right now, then they would play the Mets because the Mets are now a half game back of the Braves in the NL East. Still a long ways away, so I don't want to really talk about playoff matchups right now because things can change, on a dime. But Milwaukee lost last night. What I really care about is getting in, not so much who they're facing. We can talk about that later when we know they're going to get in. But just getting in, I'm focused on, Milwaukee's score. And they lost last night. Padres won. So the Padres now, I believe, are 5 games up technically on Milwaukee for that final wild card spot. The Phillies, I believe, have the final wild card. Padres a half game up on them. So I'm just focused on the Brewers continuing to lose and the Padres winning. And then hopefully there's too big of a gap that it's impossible for the Brewers to come back. Alberto says Dodgers run NL West forever. So this probably is a Dodger fan. Um, cool. You can run the NL West forever. I don't think you will, to be honest. I think one of these years the Padres will win the division, but that's not the most. That's not the most important thing. Winning the division is not the most important thing. The most important thing is winning the World Series in a full season, and the Dodgers haven't done that since 1988. I know the Padres have never done it. Yeah, you can dunk on me in that way if you want to, but um, winning the NL West, I assume, probably gets old for Dodger fans if they want to win the when they're trying to like go win the World Series in a full season. You can do that all you want. Let's see how you perform come October. It's the same question for the Padres too. Um, how will the Padres perform? I don't think I don't think the season's a success if the Padres don't win a wild card series. To be honest, I mean, maybe if they're competitive and it's like a walk off in Game 3 or something, but definitely making the postseason, and I would think getting into the NLDS at least for the season to be considered a success. Like making the postseason, you acquire Juan Soto, Hader, Bell, Drury, all these guys, even without Tatis. That's not good enough. Just to make the postseason. Sorry, that's not good enough. All right, I think that's gonna do it. Padres Dodgers 5:40 is the first pitch, about 2.5 hours away. I'll have the clips at Talking Friars on Twitter as always. If you want to subscribe to this YouTube channel, I recommend you do so for daily Padres content. Also, turn on the notifications so you don't miss when I go live. So you can be here in the chat. If you want to support the channel, you can use the super chat button here in the comments when I am live, or the super thanks button on regular videos. Enjoy the game tonight, everyone. I'll be back with a post-game reaction video and then the pregame show tomorrow before having a series reaction episode live after the game. See you, everybody.